use cases that are actually being used in the state of Michigan, right, using the simplified inspections. So my name is Joe McDonald, Angela, and we'll get right into it.
Yeah, let's hop into it. Okay.
Awesome. So just a quick agenda of what we'll be covering here shortly. Just like why you care, why are you here, why are you watching this video, right? We'll do a quick OnStation overview. We'll actually show you specific use cases that are being used in the state of Michigan with our app, and then just some final tips and takeaways that you can actually find some value walking away from being here. So
great.
Quick shout out and thank you to everybody that gave me personally the okay and green light to use the flags and the photos that they are using and taking in our app. Obviously, without you, this presentation does not exist. So I just want to say thank you to everyone that gave me the permission to use their flags and photos.
Great.
Awesome. So like a big thing, right, for inspectors and really anyone that are on these heavy civil projects, you see something, you have to say something, right? You have to collab internally, externally, just depending on who needs to know what's going on at a specific location, right? So that's what it comes down to. Go to the next slide. So, right, why you care. There's a universal why you care for anyone that's on a heavy civil project, right? That could be a contractor, right, an inspector, DOT. It's universal, right? So there's a lot of things we care about. We want to keep everyone safe, right? We want to get you guys more jobs. The more jobs you're getting within a year, the more money you and your company are making, right? We want to improve communication. I think we could probably all agree that communication could always be improved with either if it's internally or externally, right, between an inspector and a contractor. When you talk about contract compliance, right, the back and forth, how that can go, that's an issue as well, right? So for inspectors specifically, right, everyone on this that should be watching this should hit a little bit more closer to home, I guess, but like you want to reduce the time per task that you have to do on a job, right? If you have 50, 100 tasks on a specific job, right, that can add up. So we want to reduce the time on your task, right? We want more accurate data captured on actual field conditions, right? Improve the collaboration between stakeholders, creating a lasting digital record of construction activity, and supplemental context for daily work reports, right? So that's another thing that we're going to be focusing on. The problem is, and this is universal as well, is finding your location on a project, right? You see the war room, you see the paper plans, you see the stakes, the lab, pulling out the big binder, right? Who's got the big binder? Flag him down. We need that project plan, right? So this is an issue that obviously we're very well known, and some people are numb to it. This is just the way things are, and we're here to obviously break that status quo.
Yeah, I think the problem of poor location information is universal for everyone on a job site, but most acutely for inspectors, because they're the people who have to go to a place, and just getting to the place is a lot more challenging than you might expect.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So how do we fix it, Joe?
All right. Yeah, so with the OnStation application, your project CAD files become viewable maps on your phone. So you get a live station and offset reading. Everyone on the job can capture what they're seeing, where they're at without wandering around or wasting time finding that specific location.
Yeah.
So I'm going to pass it on to you. Yep.
Great. Well, thank you. That's a really great setup. So, this problem about location is universal. What we're looking at here is just a use case. This is the first use case for the OnStation app, and that's just to find your location. It's so basic, right? What we're looking at here, this photo on the right-hand side of the screen that you're seeing, is actually the spray painted station and offset markers that were spray painted on a job. But guess what? The milling crew came by and milled off all the numbers. So the spray paint is gone. And so this is kind of like the temporary nature of the current status quo. It stakes, last, spray paint, landmarks. These are not reliable indicators of where we're going or where we're at. So when people use the OnStation app, this task is critical. In the status quo, people on the left-hand side, I'm just going to go through this. In the status quo, you got to go look at your plan sheet. You have to go find your station and offset. You drive or you walk to the spray paint markings, which may or may not be there. And then you've got to ask for respray if things got knocked over, if they got milled off or whatever. If there's delays for that, now we've got to have people come out. Otherwise, you've got to get your tape and your wheel and you've got to measure to your spot. You've got to go from where you think you had a last location and then you've got to get over to it. It's not accurate. It takes time. You got to get your tape, wheel, go to your truck, walk back. And then you have to make a record of site conditions once you get there. So now you're holding stake, wheel, all these things. You've got a lot of materials. And that's all great. Oh, here, let me go back. Sorry. That's all great. But with the OnStation app, what's different in our world, this task is supported much more efficiently. You're going to open your OnStation app. You're going to walk to the station and offset location of where you're trying to get to. You're going to use your phone and you're at the location. It's that easy. You don't have to consult plans. You don't have to get a tape and wheel. You're just going to get your phone and walk to the site. So when you think about the hourly cost of people wasting time and being lost, you can quantify that. This is one of the easiest ROI calculations that anybody can do because you're paying, let's say 35 an hour, or for inspectors, 50 an hour. That's time, right? So 30 minutes trying to just find the location versus 6 minutes going right to the spot. It's much more efficient. So that's the first task that we're just talking about. And this is table stakes for the OnStation app. It's very basic. The second task that I want to highlight here that the app supports, the task, let's say it's erosion control. In the status quo, you're going to use paper plan sets. You're going to do that same exercise. You've got to use manual tools to navigate to the site. You're going to get there and you're going to take a picture with your phone, but that's your phone. And now you have to get the phone to SMS to somebody else, or you have to attach it as an email on your phone. And now you are writing an email on your phone and you're saying words and you hit send on it. Fast forward 3 weeks from now, you have to go back and find that email of that looks like a catch basin. You have to go back and find that email pertaining to that particular catch basin or inlet or grate or whatever you're looking at. And you have to go recreate the context of what happened, right? You have maybe some pictures on your phone, on your camera roll, but you don't have the context. Or you have the email with the context, but you can't find the email and it's stuck in email. It's not easy to extract or transform or load into, say, a DWR, a daily work report. With the OnStation app, right, changing gears, what if you could walk to that location immediately, drop a flag, which is a point of interest in our app, take a picture, and then share the correction that is recommended or what needs to be done. And then at the end of the project, all of that data can be exported for reporting with the click of a button. So this is a different way of thinking about how we can do this particular task. The third task I want to share here that is supported in our app is, let's say you need to capture just some instrument data. This is a Troxler gauge here. And what we're looking at is in the status quo, you put that thing down. Well, first of all, you have to get to your station. Again, you're wandering around, tape and wheel. You got to put that thing down. You're taking your density reading. You're going to open a tablet. Maybe you've got a spreadsheet. You're going to, out in the cold, yesterday it was like 7 degrees or 10 degrees in Cleveland. You got to take your gloves off and fat finger some numbers into a spreadsheet on a tablet, hit save. And that's how you're capturing that reading data. You didn't collect a photo, you got the data into the tablet, and maybe it's a spreadsheet or something like that, that has to get emailed or saved into the cloud. That's a lot. In the OnStation world, this task is supported a little bit differently with us. And we're doing this more efficiently as well. In the OnStation world, the user navigates directly to the test location, and then they drop a flag at that location. The user can just capture that density test, that density reading with the device, and they can enter in the readings right into the flag data using a very familiar, simple phone-enabled interface. So you're just typing numbers in or even speaking into your phone. Who doesn't love the microphone button on your phone when it's cold? Why are we typing? Just speak to your phone. Tap it right in there and capture that data immediately in the phone. You can also take an image. This is an image of the reading on the machine. Sometimes there might be some anomalies in the area or something weird was going on. Take a photo. So that's the before and after of capturing instrument data. And this is just a picture of what we're replacing. The digital form in OnStation is replacing a paper clipboard. Okay, the next task. Let's say that you're, as an inspector, you are trying to inspect for contract compliance. In this case, this is a picture of an ADA detectable warning more than 2 inches from paper. It looks like it's almost 4.5 inches, which is outside of tolerance. So in the old way, in the status quo, you would use your paper plan sets, you'd locate your areas ready for inspection. You might have to look up whatever specifications are required. Or you just know because you're that awesome. And you have to communicate via tablets or phones or PDFs to tell somebody what the correction is. So I might take a picture on my phone and text somebody, hey, this is, 4.5 inches needs to be 2. Maybe you send that as an email. Maybe you're communicating that verbally. Maybe you have paper or a clipboard. So you have to get that information to whoever is in charge of performing the correction. Now, again, you took a photo on your camera roll, but now you have pictures on your phone without context, and that's really hard to manage. And you also have to develop a system for missing words here, for making sure that you can retrieve that information in the future and come back to it. So thinking about the OnStation way in the future, when you're using the app, you're going to drop a flag, you're going to take a picture, you're going to share that for correction or remediation, and then you can export that for reporting. I see here in the chat, somebody makes a note. This is a great way to collaborate with the DOT. Both DOT and inspection crews, as well as contractors, are all on the job together. This sharing and collaboration that's happening right now on your phone, I guarantee you got some text threads going on your phone. You got group chats like crazy. Those are with multiple stakeholders. In the OnStation world, you're going to be doing that all within the app. So everything is preserved right there and you have it all. And it's all date, time, location stamped with context, and the project and location is already captured with it. The last thing I want to mention here, or second to last thing, is this task about punch list collaboration. We see this a lot. This is an example, not in Michigan. This is a different location, different job, where they're using the app to track punch list activity and status. So in the old way, in status quo, the inspectors will look for those deficiencies and they're going to send messages just like we've been covering, send an SMS, send a text, hey, this is ready for correction. You can come back out. Let me know when you want to meet up. We're having texts, we're doing phone calls, we're sending emails, and it's asynchronous. And now I have to wait a couple days to coordinate things with other people. That's how we do it today. With the OnStation way, in this example, this is just one way to manage. This is just one system that is in use right now. The inspector drops a red flag, takes a photo of the deficiency, and adds a description. That flag automatically notifies the contractor and the department staff. So DOT and contractors are in on this group on the shared flag. And when the contractor addresses the issue, the flag changes to yellow, meaning it's ready to come be re-inspected. And then once the issue is verified and accepted by the department, the flag is changed to green. So that's just one example of how this workflow works. And you can see, again, this example here with the ADA exception would be much faster and a lot easier if we just change status and tag people and alerted people. It's all happening within one app, and it tightens up the time it takes to get the deficiencies corrected. This is another example of a great spray painted. If this weren't spray painted or you didn't know, and it was next to another grate, you might not actually know which grate had the deficiency. And so that's recorded there. The last task that I want to cover here that the app supports the OnStation app supports is documenting hazards and avoiding utility strikes. So here we see a picture of a stop sign that needs to be in place. This is a traffic hazard, as you can imagine. It needed to be replaced right away. So this deficiency was documented. Again, in the old way, there's some urgency here, right? In the old way, the inspector sees it and she's got to get on her phone and tell somebody, hey, the stop sign, the traffic control is messed up. We're going to have an accident here if we don't get somebody out here, right? So now you're phoning, you're communicating, you're texting, and you're using a clipboard and you're documenting it in tools that you have like email and text. With OnStation, you walk that job, you take a picture, you share it to people ASAP. That's a notification right on the phone. It's going to come up right on the phone. And so it's immediate. Here's an example. That was a stop sign, which is a problem. Here's an example of a gas main. Again, not Michigan, but this is actually a really great use case in that there was a gas main that was not deactivated or shut off prior to excavation happening above ground, right above it. So you can see there's milling and excavation happening. That's a live gas line underneath. The inspector saw that, immediately alerted everyone and pushed the alert button in the app. There's actually a hazard flag that I'll show you in a second here. To let people know there's a live gas line. This is a sinkhole at a culvert on northbound 131 in Michigan. This is gonna probably be, that's a ditch. And if you drive into that, that's probably gonna be a hazard as well. You should probably tell somebody. And if it rains, it's gonna get bigger. So that's a problem. This is another safety hazard and error. The striping truck, the subcontractor who is performing the striping on this job, left the striper on and accidentally created a white line, a right edge line through the intersection, which is very confusing to the traveling public who now is very confused about what's happening. This also needs immediate resolution. So in our app, for all of these incidents where there's urgency, there is actually a mark as hazardous feature in our flag. That's going to light up phones ASAP. And again, you don't really get that with text. Impossible with email, and it doesn't happen in a spreadsheet. This is immediate, urgent, and specific. Okay, no, this really is the last thing. I've been saying that. I keep forgetting there's like one more thing. This really is the last use case for the OnStation app, but this is actually a use case for the swivel chair folks and the data people back at the office who need to, or you, when you get back to the office, when you are sitting in a chair at your computer and you are preparing to extract all this data to prepare for payment and correct payout. So in the old way, the worker's going to open the tablet, they're loading the spreadsheet, they have to get the data and the readings, they have to extract all of that at the end of the day, they have to download that information, they have to sort it out, add contacts, match up photos with their phone, or if they don't remember, they got to go back to the group chat and they got to find what they were trying to discuss, and they have to attach that. So now they have to get files, attach PDFs, take pictures, translate the files, fill in form fields on a PDF. It's a lot of computer manipulation to just get the data ready for extraction, load, and transform to get it into the correct system of record. With the OnStation way, you're dropping all the flags, you're having all the chat, the photos are going into OnStation, and in OnStation, when you're ready to get them out, you just select that flag for export. That's what we're looking at here on this management area. You're going to take that out as a CSV, KML, GeoJSON, or as a PDF like this. Here we go. It looks like this. So this is just a PDF export directly from our portal. The flag data has all of the context and information ready to go. The flag information, who, what, when, where, location information is automatically captured. And then same thing with that photo and the image, the person who took it, and all of the notes, if they had added anything, if they had added words or any more context, that would be displayed here too. So that's how it works with OnStation, which cuts maybe, I don't know, 5 or 6 or 7 steps out of trying to get all of the data into one place. So that's what is happening here. I want to do a product walkthrough. Time to pause. If you want to drop anything in the chat, please go ahead and do that. We're here and we're standing by. I want to go ahead and play this video. This is our app. So how do we do all this? I've talked about these use cases. What is the app? What does it do? Here it is. So I'm just going to narrate this real quick. We're looking at my job. This is a job in Texas that I'm walking. I'm holding my phone on the job, and you can see as I move, I'm getting a live station and offset reading as I move. I can see my location in mile marker, lat long, or LRS. This job has 3 alignments, and as I'm walking the job, I can see where I'm at relative to those alignments in real time. In real time. I'm just going to say that in real time because as I move, my little dot moves with me. Now, on this job, there are 3 alignments, and let's say I need to go see that grate. I want to go exactly to that grate. I know the station and offset, so I can type it right in there, and it'll take me exactly to the location that I've typed in. So my green dot moves, it tells me where I am relative to where I want to go. So I'm using my phone, kind of like Google Maps for a job site. Everybody knows green dot, everybody knows blue dot, everybody knows how navigation works when you're holding your phone and you got to get to the spot. Same thing for a job site, only here we're doing it with station and offset. Now, when I get to that location and I'm at that spot, let's say I'm looking at that grate, one of the nice things about OnStation is that we've already ingested the project CAD files. Joe had mentioned, what is the app? What does it do? We take those CAD files and we turn them into digital maps on your phone. So the CAD layer data that was created with the original design file is loaded in the app. So when I get to this location, I can turn on roadway, striping, TCP, drainage, right-of-way, erosion planning, whatever layers were included in the job can be visualized here in the app. So I just want to show that. So you're getting that rich data that you can turn on or turn off depending on what you're looking at. That rich data is on your phone. Now, I'm going to pause here. There's also an actual bonus feature called Project Plan Overlay, where we take the plan PDF and we match it to the same scale factor and coordinate system as the alignment. And we're superimposing the PDF plan sheet right on your job. And that looks like this. So this is just another way to visualize maybe complex areas like a roundabout or downtown area or something where there's lots of on-ramps and off-ramps. So this is great for complex areas. And as you can see here, we've taken that project plan sheet, superimposed it. I'm walking my job site. I'm still getting my live station and offset wherever I am. But now I can have my project plan sheet as well as the project layers turned on or turned off as I'm walking this job. Okay, that's a lot of information. Let me pause right there. When I get to a spot, I want to drop a flag. All of that was just wayfinding. That's how I'm getting around. That's how I'm visualizing what data I can see on the job, what rich information is available to me. That's all wayfinding. When I get to the spot, I got to see something, I say something. That's what inspectors do. And so when I get to a spot and I want to actually communicate that there's an issue or anything.
Any of the examples that
Any of the examples, use cases, every single use case I just shared. This is what I do. I'm going to drop a flag. So here's an example of an eroded culvert after heavy rain or whatever. The metadata of this flag, who created it, when, where, the exact location as represented in station, lat long, LRS, is all captured automatically with the flag. When you create a flag, all that data is just born with it. So the information that we're looking at on the screen is automatically created when I drop a flag. When I drop that flag, it exists as an object and a point in space. And now I can chat with my colleagues about what I'm seeing at this place. I'm going to take a picture. I'm going to send a chat and I'm going to say, hey, we need someone out here. This is a problem, or this needs to be corrected. And there's an issue here. So that's what's happening with the photos. That's all happening inside the flag. As I mentioned, I'm not in SMS. I'm not in a group chat. I'm talking with my colleagues on the flag. When I'm in the flag, I can also capture form data. As I mentioned, that clipboard, we're doing that right in the phone. And I can share all of the flag information with everyone or with no one. Let's say it's a boo-boo and I don't want to share it. This I'm just going to fix. I'm documenting it because I need to write it down, but I don't want to share it until I fixed it. Or maybe it's something that I just want to tell my boss. So it's very private until it's not. So when I do want to share it, I can send it to anybody on that group. All right, that's the app. That's a lot. We're all going to take a deep breath. Take a deep breath with me, Joe. Okay, good. All right, so that's the app. It's doing a lot or a little. See something, say something. That is the gist. If you remember nothing else, see something, say something. That's what we're doing in the app. Clearly, a lot of people in the state of Michigan are seeing something and saying something. In Michigan, we have more than 200 projects stationed. The project with the most on-station users is the I-69 job. You've seen photos of that. I've driven up there. We've been taking photos and going out there on site this whole summer. That job is ginormous and it's got a lot of people. The N20 job has the most flags in our app. Interesting. Another factoid, The M20 job is also the project with the most photos taken. So the most photos from all the users on the job, that's happening at M20. Sounds like a place where you need to get out there and look at. If you have any questions, you can actually, if you want to see this yourself, you can actually find your job by searching on our website. You go to our website and just search for find your job, and you can look up either by code, by contract number, by road name, or by map, and you can find your job to see if it's ready. So you can hop in there and try it. It's free to try. You can also submit your job. So let's say your job isn't available. We don't have your alignments. We don't have that CAD file. We don't have your project in our app yet. If you want us to have your job and make it available for you and your users, you can have your job stationed in OnStation. Just submit it on our website. Just click on submit a job and we'll upload that and have that job ready. Chances are if you want it, somebody else does too. All right, let's round this out. Take it home. We talked about seeing something and saying something, right? This chart is just kind of a, I like the icons. I put some icons on here because I wanted to talk a little bit about the universal elements of a job and how does road construction happen, right? There's a workflow here that starts out something like there's some survey and bidding and letting, and then somebody wins the job and there's site prep, then there's construction, and then there's inspection function, and then there's payout. Obviously, it doesn't always go like this, and it's not discrete like that. Those functions do overlap throughout the course of a project. However, across the entire life cycle of the project, there are critical functions. People have to find their way, and they have to know where they're going. When they get there, they have to do work, and they have to say something about the work, or they saw something about the work, right? So they need to do, see, and say. And then at the end of the work, they need to report about what happened so that they can get paid. If you think about those high-level functions that are happening across the project, that's what OnStation is supporting. That's how Michigan inspectors are performing their work, because we're supporting finding, doing, seeing, saying, and reporting. So that's the high level of what we're trying to do here, because those field crews right now, you think that they have the tools they need? They probably don't. All right, last but not least, I do want to talk a little bit about the return on investment. If you think about just time wasted, you can do a straight time and materials or time, rather, labor analysis on what's going on. Let's say you had 25 people walking around in PPE and there are 50 jobs a year. You can see your ROI with a sample investment of OnStation on our software. That's how much you might make back if that's how many licenses you bought. Same thing with survey team based in rover locates. If you had to call a subcontractor to come out and do a survey team based in, get a survey team out to spray and locate for you, that's not cheap. So if you're doing that at least once per project, your make back in OnStation is pretty clear. The other scenario is just thinking about quantifying the need for traditional staking. In Michigan, we have to stake, so I'm not sure you can eliminate that. Can you go every 200 instead of 100 feet? I don't know. In many states where we operate, this can be eliminated. So that's another cost that's typically eliminated by OnStation. So far we've talked about the key functions: finding, seeing, doing, saying. Those are the key functions we're supporting. And so the idea here is that if this resonates for you, if you have any questions about how this works on your job, reach out to us so that you can learn more use cases and we can actually hone in on your specific use cases and solve your problems for your organization. Please drop in the chat if you have any questions. And that concludes our talk today. Thank you so much, everybody. I really appreciate your time today. Thanks for coming. Joe, do you have any other closing comments?
No, thank you for coming. I appreciate it. And feel free to share this recording with, whoever you see fit. Thank you.
Thanks. All right. Have a great day, everybody. Thank you.